Loka lava Tavai.
How are you this morning?
I'm very good. I think since the last time we spoke, I've had a bit of a change in portfolios. So I'm now the spokesperson for Auckland and Pacific people still, and also women. So I
Oh,
don't know. You might want to ask some questions about those portfolios, Tavai.
okay. I will ask you later about that. But first of all, what do you think of the mess up of the lunches for the students? I mean, all the principals are complaining about this. What do you think about this, Kamel?
Well, I think that importantly, we should keep in mind for the purpose of this interview
Yeah.
that so many of these kids in the schools are our children. Our children, our Pasifika children, are more likely to be attending the schools that are eligible for lunches in schools because those families are struggling.
Hmm.
The latest news is just one story at the back end of so many stories where the government have really mucked this up. The
Mm-mm.
lunches weren't showing up. They were showing up late. Some of them were already opened and spilling out all over the place. They didn't look edible. And now what we see is the company Libel, which was contracted by Compass,
Yeah.
that has gone into liquidation and gone under. So
Mm.
you have to question whether the government didn't do due diligence
Yeah.
to check whether or not this company could
Mm.
actually take up this contract, or whether they were given the advice and yet chose to ignore it.
Yeah. If you are in the government, what is a better system to do? Make sure that we deliver healthy lunches for the students and be there on time. What do you think Labour can do?
Well, the system we had before Tavai
Yeah.
was working.
Yeah.
Not only were our kids getting hot, nutritious meals every day of the week and they were showing
Right.
up on time,
Hmm.
but also we created hundreds of jobs because they were locally made.
Right.
Communities and schools had control over who they contracted to do it. We weren't employing a big Australian multinational to bring in the lunches.
Right.
In fact, with the changes, we've lost about 2,000 jobs across the country
Right.
because the government chose to move away from locally doing the lunches to employing an Australian multinational to deliver them.
Hmm. Okay, Carmel Sepuloni, let me ask you. Earlier this week, there was a report that the job seekers benefit going up more than 20,000 people. Well, it used to be Minister for Ministry of Social Development. What do you think about this? This is not looking good for our people, especially Pacific Island people.
No, it's not looking good. And whenever there are job losses, whenever the economy is not doing well, whenever we go into recession, it is Māori, Pacific, young people, disabled, that are the ones that are mostly affected by the economic downfall or economic conditions. And so we've got a government who said they're going to reduce the numbers of people on benefit by 50,000, but instead we've seen it go up by over 30,000.
Right.
What's going on? We know that we've lost a whole lot of jobs, Tavai, because of their lack of investment in infrastructure. We've lost jobs in building and construction because the houses, the hospitals, the school upgrades aren't getting done. Infrastructure projects were cancelled. We've seen hiring freezes in our health system.
Right.
So the jobs are not there for people like our graduate nurses. And we've seen manufacturing jobs lost. So disproportionately, that will be our Pasifika people that lose jobs. So on one hand, you've got the government saying they're focused on growing the economy, that they're going to be hard on those who are on benefit and push them into work. But on the other, they have been at the helm and are responsible for so many of these job losses and so many of these people having to go onto welfare because they have lost their jobs and can't find employment.
One other thing I was supposed to ask you, Carmel. Just a few weeks ago, the official cash rates keep coming down, but the cost of living is still going up. There's no balance on that. I mean, it does affect all our Samoan and our Pacific Island people, low-income family. What can you say about this, Carmel?
So the government have touted it as a win that the interest rates are coming down. Okay, sure, that does make a big difference for many households. But what they haven't talked about as much is that inflation on this thing called non-tradables keeps going up.
Yeah.
So we see it. Our power bills have kept going up. Our rates are going up. Our rents are going up. And still, when people go to the supermarket, they're having to watch really carefully what they put in the shopping trolley because the cost of groceries has certainly not gone down. So people are really struggling to make ends meet. And I think that in so many ways, the government are out of touch with that reality. I just need to go into the Kelston supermarket and I can see people being very careful about what they put in their trolley and almost looking nervous when they go to pay for it at the checkout. That's how Auckland is. That's how our Pasifika community in New Zealand is feeling right now.
Okay, Carmel Sepuloni, let me ask you, I'm sure you've got the result of the Taxpayer Union Curia poll earlier the month or last month. Good news for Labour, the support is going up, and also for Chris Hipkins, the most preferred Prime Minister. What did you do in the last 12 months? What did Labour do in the last 12 months that turns the people to support the Labour Party?
Well, we did what any new opposition should do after losing an election, which is to get out there and listen. You have to demonstrate a level of humility because effectively the country chose another political party to govern. And so we did that for a year. We went out, we listened to people, we asked them where they thought we went wrong. We asked them what they wanted to see us do going into the next election. And at the same time, I think over the course of the last year, we've shown real unity. When you're in opposition, and I know this, Tāwai, because I've been there before, an opposition can fall apart very quickly. You can have MPs turning on each other. You can have disunity. You can have a range of things going on that shows that you're actually not in a position to govern. But over the last year and a half, despite everything, we've been a unified force. I think that New Zealanders are seeing us unified, working in solidarity with each other, ready to govern. And in contrast, what they're seeing is this three-headed beast of a government, so ACT, National and New Zealand First, in absolute shambles in so many ways and struggling to even agree on the basics.
Okay, finally, Carmel, so what can Labour do, because I think it's 18 months away from the next election, what will you do just to make sure that support will be from the people will be in favour of the Labour Party?
We've got to keep working hard. We are going to have big expectations on us to come up with our policy earlier than what we usually would, and Chris Hipkins has indicated we will put our policy manifesto out earlier than what we probably would otherwise. We need to look like we're ready to govern, and I think that we're well on our way to being able to demonstrate to New Zealanders that we are. And finally, we have to be engaged. New Zealanders want a government that's in touch with their realities, that understands what they're going through. And so we need to be able to demonstrate that, not just with words, but with actions.
Okay, Carmel Sepuloni, whawhetai lava, Malo, Lele, and Malo Opito, thank you so much for your time. Is there any other thing you want to talk about before I let you go?
Well, I think that's it. Whawhetai lava to you, Tāwai, for your time, and to the audience for tuning in. I'm looking forward to regularly updating on whatever issues our Samoan community wants to hear about from me.
Whawhetai tele lava, Carmel, whawhetai tele lava. You have a great day.
You too.
Okay, whawhetai. O le suite tai o le Labour Party, Carmel Sepuloni, Himbale Tatanonga, the Nefo Tai, Foley to Tomo, the Radio Samoa for Lima, Eva Tolua Moy.